The Holy Gospel according to St. Luke, the 10th chapter.
Glory to you, O Lord.
After this, the Lord appointed 70 others and sent them on ahead of him in pairs to every town and place where he himself intended to go. He said to them, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore ask the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest. Go on your way. See, I am sending you out like lambs in the midst of wolves. Carry no purse, no bag, no sandals, and greet no one on the road. Whatever house you enter, first say, 'Peace to this house.' And if anyone is there who shares in peace, your peace will rest on that person. But if not, it will return to you. Remain in the same house, eating and drinking whatever they provide, for the laborer deserves to be paid. Do not move from house to house. Whenever you enter a town and its people welcome you, eat what is set before you. Cure the sick who are there and say to them, 'The kingdom of God has come near to you.' But whenever you enter a town and they do not welcome you, go out into its streets and say, 'Even the dust of your town that clings to our feet we wipe off in protest against you.' Yet know this, the kingdom of God has come near. Whoever listens to you listens to me, and whoever rejects you rejects me, and whoever rejects me rejects the one who sent you." The 70 returned with joy, saying, "Lord, in your name even the demons submit to us." Jesus said to them, "I watched Satan fall from heaven like a flash of lightning. See, I have given you authority to tread on snakes and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy. Nothing will hurt you. Nevertheless, do not rejoice at this, that the spirits submit to you, but rejoice that your names are written in heaven." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, O Christ.
Now, grace and peace to you from God our Father, our Lord Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Yesterday, Stephanie and I drove up to Lutheran to give a visit to Zach and to carry his trombone to him that he will need this coming week as they have music week up there at the camp. And while we were driving back, we decided to get off the highway at Clinton and take the old way home, because quite frankly, I was tired of driving in the traffic and my mind was starting to zone out, and I knew this was not a good thing. So we headed off into Clinton and we found Highway 76, and down it we went. And I'm here to tell you, I did not know there was that much corn in Newberry County. I mean, we just drove by mile after mile after mile of corn there. At least it seemed like to me, but that was a whole lot better than the cars that had been on the interstate. And as you drove by, where the field was close enough that you could see it from the cars, you're driving by, you could see every stalk had ears of corn growing towards ripeness. There is a harvest there waiting, though it isn't quite ready yet. And already I know that people are getting harvest out of their gardens, and that there are other crops coming into the harvest, and that soon the full harvest will be here. But I wonder this morning, as we talk about the corn and the gardens and other things that we may harvest, do we really take Jesus at his word when he says that the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few, in referring to people who do not live in an intimate relationship with the body of Christ and with our Lord Jesus Christ? Do we really believe that there is that harvest out there? One wonders, or at least I wonder sometimes, if we were to send a couple of folks out from church one day at 11 o'clock and have them drive around, how many houses do you think they would count where people were that had not been to church that day, just in our own community? Perhaps a good many more than we might think. That is the harvest. That's what we're called to be harvesters for. Paul writes in Galatians, "Do not be deceived, God is not mocked, for whatever you sow, that is what you will reap. reap. And if we do not if we do not sow harvesting, what are we going to reap? He talks on there about how do you live your life. Is it to the flesh, the things that we really enjoy? Or do you live it to the Spirit, those things that make life really blessed? And that's a question all of us have to face. Because you see, living a Christian life isn't a life lived haphazardly or willy-nilly or just taking things as they come and making a decision at the moment. Because we know decisions have consequences. Lifestyles have consequences. Everything we do has a consequence somewhere down the road. If we do not save money as we work when we get to retirement, we don't have any money to retire on. If we buy everything new as soon as it comes out, we have lots of things that mean nothing to us all in the long run because we have more stuff than we can even figure out what to do with. It's the whole theory behind yard sales, isn't it? I'll sell you my junk, so you can buy it, so I can buy more junk to fill up the space I got rid of when I had my yard sale. What we reap, or what we sow, we reap. If we live a life that doesn't sit down and calculate, am I really living the life I say I believe I ought to live, then how do we know if we're not? And we're called. Jesus talks here in this lesson. We're called to make the world a different place than it would have been if we had not come along. We're called to make the world different. Now, everybody hears quite frequently saying, oh yes, I would like to make a difference in somebody's life. Well, it's sort of like the old thing about giving somebody a fish feeds them for one day, but teaching them to fish gives them the ability to feed themselves. When you give somebody a fish, you've made a difference in their lives. When you teach them how to fish, you've made their lives different. Because from that day on, their lives are not the same as they would have been if you had only given them that fish for one day. We're called to make the world a different place than it would have been if there were no Christians in the world. We're called to sow the salvation of God, and we're called to reap the harvest. And Jesus tells us that if we take Him at His word, we ought to know that that harvest is out there waiting for us. Yet there are times, I'm sure, when we think, oh no, not me. I'm no harvester. And yet Jesus said, that's exactly what you are. We're called to be harvesters. We're called to look out into the world and see that there's this whole big stand out there coming to the harvest. Now, for some, the harvest may not be ready yet. The heart may not be open. The invitation may not be ready to be received. But if we live our lives on purpose and with intent to be harvesters of the right crop, then as hearts are open and invitations are prepared to be received, we can give that invitation that brings a harvest into the life of Christ. That's how we're called to live. That's what we're called to do. That's what we're called to be. To watch, to wait, to listen, to learn, to see the crop coming to ripeness. When that ripeness arrives, and that heart is open, and that invitation is accepted, called to be inviters. Called to sow the seeds of salvation and reap the harvest which builds the body of